Thank you all for having me and for a very warm welcome. And it's good to be here at the Bridge Conference. And I want to welcome you to the fourth annual conference. And as you know, the Bridge Conference serves as a forum to learn about trends and developments in the fields of aging, disability, and veteran services. And excuse me, I'm not got myself together. I was at that Rockets game last night. I'm still trying to figure out what happened. But nonetheless, we shall move forward. And I was with you last year in May, and a lot has taken place that changed our community since then. Namely, Hurricane Harvey, which has significantly shifted the landscape of our community for the good, and in some cases, in some very challenging ways. But first, let's talk about the best things that happened as a result of Harvey. The storm gave our community the opportunity to pull together and show just how strong we are. I do want to acknowledge, and I think he's still here, Council Member Jack Christie is here. Council Member, please give him. I appreciate Councilmember Christie. Yesterday, he wore me out, y'all. He was battling me on an issue. I was just about to throw in the towel, and then he gave me a second chance. So I appreciate it. But now the challenge. Our city and surrounding communities are still in recovery mode, and there continue to be those who are working towards rebuilding their lives. I'm especially sensitive to our seniors who are in communities, and seniors don't complain a whole lot, and seniors don't like moving out of their homes. And there are many seniors who are still living in homes that need to be repaired, remediated in some form, or simply rebuilt. People with special needs in those same conditions. People in low-income communities in those same conditions. But for many of our seniors, that there are individuals that we have not yet touched, and they're trying their very best to stay in their homes. And for some of our seniors, they believe if they go to the store and get a whole lot of bleach, that they can stop the mold and everything else. And so I'm continuously asking neighbors and relatives and friends and church members to check on our seniors. In fact, that was one of the ways we had done. We found one senior who was 98 years old in the city of Houston. Her home was badly flooded, and she was sleeping on her sofa in the living room. The rest of the house was just in very bad shape. And the way that came to our attention is that she was on Sundays, she was still getting up, getting dressed, and going to church. And one of the church members kind of brought her home, and then walked inside and discovered her condition. And then a number of people, when that story was told, stepped in, moved her out temporarily, redid her house, and now she's back in. And the only thing she asked, 98 years old, is that she just wanted to have her house restored. And so, but that was one. But she lived in a community where there was a lot of flooding, where there are a lot of seniors reside. And so the odds are that there are others in same or similar conditions. As the city moves forward, we cannot move forward without making sure that these seniors and others are taken care of. We can't leave them behind. That's unacceptable. The theme for this year's conference is building bridges to empower communities. And before Harvey hit, quite frankly, you were already on a daily basis routinely assisting older adults, people with disabilities, and veterans at your respective agencies navigate day-to-day challenges and obstacles in their lives, and for that I wanted to come and say thank you. Harvey added a new set of challenges to some individuals' lives, but you have risen to the occasion. I want to say thank you for what you do on a daily basis. You truly are the unsung heroes and advocates for the most vulnerable and the most honorable. Thank you for showing up to your jobs every single day and answering the call of service for individuals and families in our communities. And as professionals who work for and with older adults, people with disabilities, and veterans, this conference affords you the opportunity to meet like-minded colleagues from other organizations And you also have the chance to learn about the latest trends, changes, challenges, and successes from speakers locally, around the state, and on a national level. And I think you're going to be hearing from a very good friend of mine in a few minutes as she is now walking in her red into the room, Melody Lawson. Give it up to Melody Lawson. Melody and I have known each other for a number of years. Yeah, I think she's 42 and I'm 48, and but we keep moving forward. And I tell you, she has been an inspiration to me for a number of years and people in our city. She continues to do her job at the very height, irrespective of MS, but she continues to move forward. And let me just tell you, she does it extremely well. To let you know, just because one may have a disability, it does not mean a limitation on your talent and what you can contribute. And so we continue to go forward. So today and tomorrow, you will hear from some very dynamic and interesting speakers who will discuss topics related to the ways Houston and this region can develop strong communities for all citizens, particularly older adults, people with disabilities, and veterans. I want to thank Marie Towns, who has the mayor's office on disabilities. Is Marie here? I haven't seen her yet, but I was able to get her from the Obama administration. She is a millennial, and she's doing an exceptional job, so I want to thank her. I want to thank Carl Salazar, who heads my Veteran Office of Affairs. I want to thank him. I want to thank Steve Williams, who oversees a lot of the public health director, and is doing an outstanding job on so many different fronts. And then lastly, let me just say, it's been an incredible week. I was watching and seeing the Seattle Hawks when they assigned an individual who had one arm not there, but he has a twin brother. His twin brother was made it to the NFL, and they didn't know whether or not any team was going to draft him, but he was drafted because he proved himself. Again, just because one may have a disability, it doesn't necessarily mean a limitation. And so now he will be playing in the NFL. But what really got me motivated is that he was encouraged to keep going by a cheerleader who only had one arm, and she was wishing him encouragement. And then at the end, she just started jumping and flipping down just away. And I said, simply amazing. Marie Towns of my Office of Disabilities, she was riding the bus, and there were some people who were given her a problem because she was moving too slowly. It was the bus driver who said, "This bus is not moving, and I'll put you all off before I put her off. But on my bus, everybody rides." And so I certainly want to thank that Metro bus driver for stepping up to the plate. Quite frankly, I wouldn't be here today without Evelina Muldrew. At my church, we say Sister Evelina Muldrew. She was in her 80s, and every time when I was going to school, I would go to church, and she would find me at the very end of church. And you know how seniors do. They take their dollar bills, and they fold them real tight. I mean, she folded that it was so tight. And she would come up, and I would hug her, and she would put this $5 bill right in the palm of my hand. And she would say, "Little Turner, Sister Evelina doesn't have a whole lot, but I want to encourage you." And she would do that and put it in my palm of my hand. Every Sunday when I would come, same thing, rolled up real tight, put it in the palm of my hand. It got to the point that I was going to the church, not to get the word, but I was... Look, when you're in college, that $5 can... I can buy a Whataburger, some fries, and a drink. So I wasn't leaving the church until I found Sister Evelina Muldrew. So I appreciate her. And then in terms of veterans, my niece is here, Marion Robinson is here. Yeah, that's my niece back there. She texted me, said, "Uncle, I'm going to be here. Call out my name." Okay, got you. I tell you. But But as she can tell you, my brother, older brother, Charles, the smartest of all 9 of us, he was the smartest, and graduated valedictorian from high school, but elected to go into the military in order to help my mom, who was rearing the rest of us. We were the younger versions, and then experienced disability while in the military. Came out. My mom was his guardian. Then my mom had got Alzheimer's, and then he was the one who was out there at the house, staying with my mom, taking care of her. So she started off being his guardian when he came out. In the end, he became her guardian, even with his disability. So the stories are endless. We are very, very fortunate. I want to thank you for taking the time to building the bridges. We are a diverse city, not just based on our ethnicity or religion or language. We are diverse on so many different fronts. But again, diversity is an asset, and it's all about inclusiveness, because even with people's disabilities, even being seniors, even regardless, we can all have a seat at the table, and you help to put everyone at the table. So thank you for having me. Wish you the very, very best, and enjoy the conference.